What is up, Flowmies? It is time for another edition of the ITF Flowcast. We have a fun episode for you today. As our guest, we have Terry Turbo Burrows. Yes, the Terry that holds the Guinness Book of World Record for world's fastest window cleaner. He's got a wonderful personality. He loves to talk. He loves to share about his experiences that he has. But to make it even more fun, we have the ITF's very own Jeremiah Hickey. If you remember, he was the very first person that we interviewed here on the Flowcast, season 1, episode 1. Go back and listen to it. He tells about his journey into the speed cleaning world and where he actually competed against Terry overseas. And they're going to talk about that. So cool to hear them just kind of rehash everything that happened. And Terry also shares some things that Jeremiah didn't know about, but just get to know him a little better. We're going to talk about how he got into it and just also how he was able to parlay this skill, which is a very awesome and incredible skill, but parlay that into the celebrity that he has now. So anyways, you're going to really like the interview. Super entertaining. We love to hear him talk. We can hear him talk all day, but listen in as we talk to Terry Turbo. All right, guys. Well, I am super excited. We have Terry Turbo Burrows with us. How are you doing, Terry?
I'm doing very well, Gabe. Thanks for inviting me for Flowcast. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're so happy to have you. So I'm sure there's probably like one or two people out there who don't know in the window cleaning world who don't know who Terry is, but he is the world record holder for all window speed cleaning. He's competed all over the world. And what your record is what is it?
Yeah, so the world record is to clean 3 windows, 45 inches by 45, and wipe the seal clean. And the world record stands at 9.14 seconds.
9.14, yeah.
Yeah, and the fact is it was like 8.14 seconds, but I left 2 marks behind. And as Jeremiah knows so well,
Yeah.
you could do this record 1,000,000 times and you will have 1,000,000 results.
Right, exactly.
You know,
So
yeah.
yeah, so and we also have Jeremiah with us. How you doing, Jeremiah?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. It's good to see Terry again.
Yeah. So Flowmies, if you have not yet heard the very first ITF Flowcast, you got to listen to it because Jeremiah was the one, and he tells the story of when he actually went and got to compete against Terry in a speed cleaning contest in Europe. So, or it was in England, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to go back and listen to it. But that's why we wanted to have Jeremiah on here. They competed. We want to hear this. We want to hear all this juicy stories behind the scenes when it took place. But before we get into all that, Terry, why don't you tell us a little bit about your experience into the speed cleaning world? Because I understand you came into it later in life, right? It wasn't like something you started since you were younger.
Yeah, that's very true. Do you know, I want to take you back to 1993. I don't know what Jeremiah was doing then.
Not window cleaning, not yet. I wasn't out of high school yet.
You wasn't born, right? That's what you're going to say. No?
I'm older than that. I'm
not giving you that credit. Anyway, 1993. I'm going to take you back to. And there was a program that come over here. It was from America. You may recall this, guys. It was a program called You Bet. Does that ring a bell? Okay, it was on a Saturday evening, and it was a game show program. And this is how it really all started. I wrote away to them, and they come back to me, and they actually phoned me up. Can you believe this? On April Fool's Day. This is a true story. And they said, "Hi, it's You Bet." Right, okay, and we want you to come on and do a sort of competition, window cleaning thing. Clean a lot of windows. We're going to give you 90 seconds to do what we want you to do. So they built a set, and we did it. Anyway, it started to kick on from there because I said to my pal, "This is not the end of it." And he looked at me as if I was bonkers. It's like, so I looked like that was when I started to look up about Guinness World Records, funny enough. And so become 1995, I yet went on a TV program called Record Breakers. Now, Record Breakers is what it was. It was with Guinness World Records, and you went on that program to break a world record. And there was lots and lots of training for this. I got to tell you, it just didn't happen. It was, it was in the making. It was a lot of. Just prior before that, we was on TV every day, my friend John and I. And what they did, they put a screen up in front of the camera, and we was like washing the window. And we kind of looked at one another and looked in the screen as if like we're looking in your TV in front room. And it was crazy because we was on TV every day doing that. Wow. Seriously, that went on for 2 years. It was nuts.
So was this something that the local station, it was their idea, or did you pitch it?
No, what it was absolutely stone bonkers lucky because we just got to appear on a 9 million show at the time, going back then, on a Saturday evening. And one of the producers had seen this, us on TV, and I actually pitched it to them because they had an older version of it, and it was called Carlton TV. In actual fact, that clip is on YouTube.
Oh, you have to look it up.
So awesome. What you need to look at is Carlton TV window cleaners, okay? Idents, they call them idents, and you'll see a short clip of Terry and John from South Ockenden is where we used to live. So I pitched it to them, and they said, well, that's funny because we were about to film a new batch of idents, window cleaners they had in their head. I thought, wow, that was a bit lucky. So off we went to the audition. You have to go for all these auditions, right? Yeah, as you do. It's all a thing. And so we get there. And bear in mind, I wasn't a record holder then. This was just something before that. Mm-hmm. And he said to me, the producer was saying, we're in this room, and he said, what we were thinking was, you, pointing to me, we want you to come up in front of the screen and, clean the window slowly and then look in like you're looking in the window. And I was like, oh, and my friend John was standing there, you see. And I went, but hang on, can you do it with me? Because we most guys work around in 2s and 3s and 4s, right?
Yeah, that's what they.
So there I was pitching him now. Please, Mr. Producer, can you come with me? And I said, look, we can do this. And I quickly went to the window and I squeeged it half a window. I said, look, I can do one half and he can do the other half, and then we can, look in. And he went, and he couldn't stop laughing. We're going to do it. And they did it. So wow. If you check out YouTube.
I am going to have to look that up. Absolutely. Yeah. So you just probably, because you have a very outgoing personality. So you just probably draw people to, they look at you and they're like, okay, this guy's got to be my spokesman, right?
You know what, Gabe? It's very kind you say that, because everybody that I meet in TV land has said the same thing. Mm-hmm. That's me. That's me.
It comes across. Because obviously I was watching a lot of stuff to prepare for the interview, and you're not different in any video. You are the same. You are just excited to be there. You're friendly. Everyone's happy to talk with you, and of course you got a cool story too, so that helps. But that is so neat.
Basically, we did that, and the rest.
Terry, real fast. I wanted to say you're also very funny on camera.
Oh, really?
You're very funny because we did the interview there, that morning show, and you were so witty with the interviews and everything else going on. You were just like, and you're fast and you make everybody laugh too. So you're not just charismatic, but you get everybody to laugh, which is great. It draws everybody in.
Good thing is with Jeremiah, and of course we've met, and I've got to meet a lot of famous people, right? I met like Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt is on my stuff. How cool is that?
Yeah.
The gig behind that was, so I get invited up to a TV show, right? So Usain Bolt's going to be on there. So why was the connection of me going on with Usain Bolt, which was like, well, the connection was, so Usain Bolt runs 100 meters, right, in like 9.40 seconds.
Oh, look at that.
And mine's like 9.14. So technically, I'm faster than him anyway. So there's your connection, right? But what they was going to do was this. And this would have been really funny, but I got to tell you, his management, he brings with him like an entourage of people, right, with him. I was like standing like 2 foot away from him, and he had like this circle of people around him. I got to tell you, he's protected. Trust me.
I bet. Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. The idea was we was going to have 2 sets of window cleaning equipment, you see, and we was going to race together on the windows. Now, of course, I would have left him behind, but I wouldn't want to race against him either. I don't want to run against him because I thought we could rob a bank together, you know. For the money. But you know, I'm just me, and Jeremiah would tell you that, you know, he will tell you that.
So you get on these spots on TV, and I'm sure you're developing some notoriety. When did you start getting into the competitive, where you're like, okay, now I really need to, I'm fast, but now I need to get like world record fast?
Yeah, you need to know. So the beginning started like coming from the first television program, which was You Bet, which was an humongous amount of fun to do. You know, oh gosh, it was a great experience. My poor pal was really, really scared, but you know, I wasn't. I was just so excited. I was so excited. I thought, this is brilliant. I'm actually bringing window cleaning to television. Get over it. Oh. And well, it started just after that, because then we went on to doing the idents, the Carlton TV, which was appearing every day. And it was then I approached Record Breakers. So going from Record Breakers, where we got accepted, and I took the very first record, I wasn't going to sit back and say, well, you've done it, because that's not the right thing to do, really. But also what happened, I've got to tell you, the way it was done many years ago wasn't the correct way either. Gosh, what they did at the time, they put, if you can imagine, cable ties, and they put a sponge on the back of your hand. And what they did, this was going back in
really,
yeah. So what they did, you had a sponge, say, on the back of your hand, and on the word 3, 2, 1, go, you drop the squeegee into your right hand, and you actually wet up.
Oh my goodness, backwards.
Right. Well, I was the first one to scream and shout, this isn't right, guys. You don't do it like this. Use it with a T-bar and the applicator, right? That's what you do. So that got, although it was really fast, and I took it, that actually got squashed. Because the National Federation of Window Cleaners, which is over here, of course, got together with Guinness World Records and rewrote the rules and regulations, which stipulates 3 windows 45 inches by 45. You've got to have a seal underneath the windows as well. You've got a 12-inch squeegee, a 14-inch applicator, and do it again. And it wasn't until 1996 that I went into a competition in England. That there was about, probably about 40 window cleaners that went in for this.
Wow.
And doing it the proper way back then, I took the first proper record, how it should be done back then, was something around about 19 seconds, which took a record for proper regulations. That's how they want it done, and that's how we've got to do it. Well, look what's happened now. I've cut that in half.
Yeah.
More so, because of the way I did it back then, and you know, it cut in total. I've taken 10 Guinness World Records.
Wow.
That's what I've actually got.
Now, are you beating yourself each time, or are you beating someone else?
Yeah, no, that's me. That sounds crazy, but to give you where we are now, where we've jumped, I've been doing this for I think it's about 28 years now. So the last world record is sitting up there on the wall, which is 2009, which is the 9.14, which is like 14 years ago. And gosh, well, Jeremiah knows how terribly difficult that is to get to that stage, because, to get to that point, you've got to be finished in 8.14 seconds to even have a crack at the world record. And as Jeremiah knows, we can all do winners, slowly and and get a perfect result. But when you're doing a window that's like just over 2 seconds a piece of glass, which is what I do, I'm doing it. I would say I'm doing it in 2:10 to 20 a window and moving. Are you going to get it perfect? On that one day 14 years ago, I just left 2 mistakes. I look back
That's
at
amazing.
that video on YouTube, and wow, I was moving, I was fast. And for this show, Gabe, that just went Excel, I trained for 2 years solid, literally 2 years solid.
Wow.
And it just goes to show something I can relate to Jeremiah once again. Don't matter how much training you do, it's on the day and how you perform on the day.
Yeah.
Gabe, you competed too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so it too. It looks simple, and for a day-to-day window cleaning, we understand it and everything else. But in the moment, it's a totally different beast, and it can be anybody's game. It's just how it goes.
Yeah. And and the thing too is you're looking at it and you're watching people do it, and you just think, oh, I could do that. I've been cleaning windows for 20 years, and you just think you can walk up and do that. And like you said, it's a combination of, one, you're not using your equipment, right? At least your equipment that you've got. 2, you're in front of a bunch of people, which, that's, if you've never been in front of a bunch of people, that it throws you off. It really messes with your head a little bit. And then you've got the pressure of, okay, this is it. This is, now I actually have to do it. When there's no pressure like that, you can go pretty fast. But when you're in the spotlight and you're under the gun, that's a whole different level of concentration and focus.
Yeah, so right. Going back to me, gosh, oh wow. What it's amazing when I look back what shaped me where I am now. There's a number of things. So going back to when I was about 11 years of age, I used to box for a club. I used to box for my school. Mm-hmm. And then it got to the point when that wonderful man, Bruce Lee, came over and went, oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, wowza. I think I want to do that. So I went into various different styles of karate, and I'm actually a black belt in one style of karate.
Nice.
How does that make a difference to the window cleaning? A lot. Because what I did, because it's basically what we got about 16 moves to the world record. That's what we're saying. We got 5 on the glass, right, as you know, and you got 1 along the seal. So there's your 16 moves. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So it's kind of like a series of moves. It's a kata. So as your body is and your arms are doing one thing, my legs are doing something completely different. Mm-hmm, my legs are operating. My right is operating totally different from my left. My left hand's operating to my left hand different. My right to my left. As are my legs.
I appreciate you say that. I heard an interview you did with A. McIntosh over there, and he was going to compete. And you told him that exact same thing, because you were critiquing him as he was doing it. And you see, you've got legs. Why aren't you moving your legs? And I think that was something that I struggle with, because you're still, and you're going like this with your upper body, and that costs time, and plus you're getting off balance. And so it's like, you got to move with it. It's like your whole body is kind of going as you're moving. And then I started watching your runs, and I say, yeah, he does. He moves. He's like, the bottom half of him is moving, not separate, but it's like it's doing its own thing, but it's facilitating your top part of your body to move. So I thought it was really interesting.
the thing is, Gabe, I mean, you got to think, when I talk like this, I'm talking like 28 years of experience behind me. I think Jeremiah may have seen my daughter come to the last show. Did you see my daughter?
Yeah,
Jeremiah?
yeah. She did good. She was just you put her on the glass and you were training her, and then she quickened up, and you're like, she's going to be the next one.
Well, it's a shame you didn't come here this year because she won it. I don't know if you know. But like this year, we're saying, I've been training her, and she scares me in respect that she's not a window cleaner. She's a HR manager for a Ford Motor Company, right? She's nothing to do with it. But I made a legacy to her. I said to her, look, this would be really special, because with respect to Deborah, who owns the world record, it's there to be shot at. It's 16.20 seconds. My daughter picked this up sort of last year or so, started just doing it. And I was like, whoa, she's got the genes, I kid you not. And I started training her, right? And we train at home. And I swear to God, I thought she broke the record this year. She was like a 10th of a second away.
Wow.
She won the competition anyway. But what I'm really trying to say to you is, wow, how cool would that? And I've made it a legacy. Like, if you take the world record, what would happen there is father and daughter have the Guinness World Record for the fastest man and woman in the world.
Yeah.
That would never be repeated, right? I can't see that ever be repeated again.
No. And I think so you mentioned genes, and I think that is definitely important. And I think what you're saying about your daughter is kind of evidence of that. But going back to your martial arts training, there has to be something with kind of the quick twitch muscle reaction, right? Because I know because Jeremiah is the one who taught me. When I went up and did it the first time, I had never done speed cleaning before, and he trained me. And it's just very clumsy, and you feel like you're going back and forth, and it didn't feel smooth. But the next year that I came back, I think that was the best that I did. That's when I took second. I had been working on just kind of the natural feel of the glass and the muscle, and I think that your experience with martial arts had to come into play to be able to move fast, because you think you're fast because you're used to being faster than everybody else, but then you get there and you're amongst other fast window cleaners, and then you kind of realize, oh no, there's like another level you got to get to kind of get over the hump.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And going from taking the one world record and then coming back and doing it the correct way and taking a world record, then going on and taking more records, that was fine. But I needed to go into other countries, and I had an opportunity to come to me, which was in France. Jeremiah might remember this. It was quite many years ago. It was called the Europrop. It was a big show. It was called the Europrop, and it was held in France, and it was televised as well. And funny enough, it was our television crew, the Channel 4, a major TV crew, that were over there. I didn't know that. And they came up to me because I was actually representing Britain. Because it was a European window cleaning championships. I'd never been in this before in my life. So you're quite right to say, now I'm about to find out where I am now, because I don't know where I am. Okay. So long story short, I went on, it was all filmed, and I won it. And I thought, okay, now, well, that's Europe sorted. let's go abroad and find out more. And basically, that's what I did. I mean, there's some good guys out there. There is some good guys. There's a guy, Jeremiah will probably know this guy as well. I think it's Frank Lorette, if I say that name right. Frank.
I was going to say, it was Frank at that expo in Europe when you did it? Okay.
No, I'm quite shocked, Jeremiah, because they're close to here, right? They're a flight away. They're an hour away. I flew to Amsterdam in November. Wow, I flew out Tuesday, had the competition on Wednesday, and had to fly back Wednesday night.
Man.
Yeah, they wanted me there. So I went there, took the prize, and went home, right? That was that done. I won that one. But what I'm a bit surprised at is that they don't come over. They've never, ever come to England to compete. What I did see, Jeremiah, is on LinkedIn, they put up a film of Frank Lorat doing these 3 windows, like 9.40 seconds, something like that, 9.40. But I had to write on there and say something because, like, it was saying, like, that was really fast. Yeah, that was okay. But one, they don't even stick to the damn rules. They don't even have a ledge under the windows and nothing like that. And I'm thinking, really? Why don't you come over to England? In fact, one of the judges put on there, why don't you come over to England? Like, come on, come over. But I don't get that because, like, it's like an hour and a half away flight. What, Okay, you guys, it's a long flight. It's a long haul. Of course it is, yeah. But I don't know.
It was worth the flight. It was worth it. Well, I went over there not expecting to win. I knew you were going to be there. I'm like, it is what it is, but I was going to have fun with it. But just having that whole experience was totally worth it. I think anybody that has the opportunity should go do it.
It was worth it, and it was great that you actually did it. It was great. Do you want to know a little secret?
Sure.
Yes.
Do you remember that, Gabe? Do you remember I said to you the other day, I said to you something about, I've got something to tell you, and Jeremiah doesn't know this.
Yes.
Right, here goes. This is the God's honest truth. God's honest truth. Before I tell you this, I'm going to take nothing away from Jeremiah because he deserves to win it, okay? Let's just make that quite clear. He deserved to win it. He was a good man. So over the many years that I've been window cleaning in England, and all these competitions have been going on in England, it was getting to a point where they're saying, if I'm actually in it, I'm not going in it. There is no.
Yeah.
Okay. So I said, look, I don't want to kill the competition. Like I said, let's do this. I said, can we do this? I said, look, I'm going to be there, but how about I just, run the competition. I don't judge it, of course. We have the judges. That's fine. But I will go for a world record. But that's nothing to do with the competition. So the guys will win the competition. I'm not in the competition. And they said, yeah, okay, let's do that. And then we got everybody coming back in the competition, you see. I'm not in it. And that took a long time to sink in because they said, he's in it. I went, no, I'm not in it. You guys are in it. I've got nothing to do with this. I'll just have to go for the world record. So it was that way for many, many years. Here comes the dilemma. So when Jeremiah came over, we've gone into the competition. I've had my go. And something the judge said to me as I'm walking away, I thought, oh, that was weird. Why did he say that to me? He said to me, your time don't count. I went, and there was so much hustle and bustle going on. I thought that was a strange thing to say. And I walked away. The next thing I knew, everybody was getting called out. Jeremiah had won it, of course. And the second and the third. Was I that bad? And my daughter came up to me and went, what's going on? What is going on? I said, I have no idea. Do you know what happened? The officials of the show knew that I was put back in the competition. But guess who did not know who I was going in the competition and was in it? How about judges?
Oh.
True story.
Oh, we need a reboot.
True story, Jeremiah.
No, I suspected as much. I suspected there was something amiss when you didn't place top third. That didn't make sense because you were absolutely better than number 3. I knew you were better than number 3, and I didn't know how good you were overall, But when they didn't announce you for 1, 2, or 3, I suspected they held you up for the world record. It was kind of a situation like that. So your time is a big question mark for that year.
I'll tell you what it was. Well, I can't tell exactly what it was. What made the situation even worse is because the judge didn't know, right? He came up to me afterwards, after everything had been done, and he said to me, I owe you a massive apology.
Wow.
I like, come on. He said, I did not know you were in the competition. He said, and that is why I said, your time don't count. And I was just like, I'd waited like a year for this show to come around to be, this was like devastation because we had such a great build up to the show. Jeremiah, we were a TV show in London, and that's a big show. That's on every single day, that is. And but he just apologized to me. He said, I'm so sorry. He said, he said, I wasn't told. But I thought, would the officials of the show know what is going on?
Yeah.
So since that time,
wow.
I've been in, but take nothing away from Jeremiah because yes, he came over and yes, he won. So good luck to Jeremiah.
The real person in the whole thing that we should all feel bad for is the guy from Sweden who really, really wanted to win it. You were telling me he was practicing like crazy the day before. It was like
tell that story real quick because that's you talked about it in the very first episode. It's just a really good story. Could you just share a little bit about that?
What cracks you up is, do you know what I've got a guy in Cardiff over here. He's really quick. He's got an actual set of 3 windows at home, and but as we all know, gosh, I've got 28 years behind me. I mean, how much more experience do you want behind? It just counts on the day, and you can have a good run or you can have a Hail Mary of one. And 9 times 10, you'll get the Hail Mary run. I don't care how good you are because you'll get it. But I'm glad Jeremiah won it. Seriously, because he came over, he took the time to come over, and he popped in, which was great. And to be honest with you, it done the show some good, if I'm really honest, because there's people out there that want to see me like get off that, gift over. But me and Jeremiah, we did have a lot of fun doing that. But I'll tell you what, I make a prediction. My daughter will be back in training, and I predict that she will take the women's world record. She was so close to it this time. I was gutted, truly.
Well, she'll get there, man. Yeah, she's already this close.
But it's scary because I look at her, and even the people at the show were saying to me, oh my God, she even moves like you. Right? She does. Oh my God, this is really scary.
So Terry, tell me a little bit about the training. So what's the training involved to get ready? Because you said you had trained for 2 years. What are you doing? What's your is it daily? Is it, how many times a week? What's the length of the training, and what are you looking for? What are you looking to do?
So we had this long chat with the great big story when they come to my home, because they're kind of like fascinated that, they can't believe the passion that I've got for what I do. But you got to have it, haven't you? Right? You got to be in that, and you know, us window cleaners, we understand that. We all get that. You know, we understand that. So my training, I'm retired now. By the way, I don't actually do any work anymore. Thank God. I had a heart attack at 60 years of age.
Wow.
67 now, but I've got a stent, so I'm kind of bionic. So that might be giving me the upper hand. I don't know, but I'll take that. Yeah. So I don't have 3 windows, although I do have 3 big. The windows you see in the great big story video, the film, that's my home, by the way. So you'll see. Okay. Yeah, that's my home. So you see the 3 big windows. But I've had actual, you know, world record size training window, which you've got to have. You just got to have, because you just can't, you know, and every 3 windows at any one competition will be different as well. I mean, our ones at our show are particularly hard because there's quite a gap between one window to the next window. You know, that don't make look a lot, but it is when you're going at speed.
Sure.
One to the other, you know.
And when you're talking about muscle memory, right? And you're used to going into the next thing, yeah.
So my regime, and the last competition I did, I was training for 2 years for. So basically, I was going out there daily. So I would be working on, even at my age, my state of play, I'll be working on technique. I'll be doing, always you'd be slowing, slow. Then you'll be gradually warming up, and then you'll be absolutely hammering it massive. And this is what the great big story crew just was like, oh my God, you know, how do you do it that fast? You know, which, you know, on a good day, I'm averaging like 2 seconds a window.
Wow.
As on the window itself.
Right.
Because you've got to have some kind of regime to work to and stick to. You're right about muscle memory, because in the world of karate, that's what muscle memory is. You know, I'm a black belt, as I said, and my son's a black belt as well. And I used to teach, but the why you go and work up and down the dojo as such all the time and doing your moves, and you know, it's a long time. 5 years it took before I got my black belt, but I was doing different styles before that. I was a boxer. I did Wing Chun, I did Whatup, I did Shotokan, I did Kung Fu, and then did Kudokan, which is my black belt, and Kudokan. But the reason why you do all that walking and that hard work training, it's muscle memory. So, like, you know, not that I do, but people have said to you, oh, what would you do if I come and did this to you? And I just go, I don't know. My body will react. And that's a truthful answer. You know, yeah, I might jump back. I might not jump back. I might go sideways. My body just goes. And I swear, Glide, I could do the world record probably blindfolded, because it's I think I should try it.
I think that's the next show. The next show is you doing it blindfolded. See, that's what it is. We'll let you count your run in the next speed cleaning competition, but you got to be blindfolded. That's the only way that it counts.
I've seriously thought about that as an actual world record. Really, it's going to be so funny to do. Not as easy as I'd probably proclaim, because you know, you got to do that running down the seal afterwards as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. No cords in the way, right? No tripping.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
as Jeremiah knows, I don't know, it's one of probably all world records are hard, of course they are. That's why they're world records.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ on a bike, it's got to be one of the most unpredictable world record there probably is, because it's so bloody difficult.
Well, you know, for point of reference, my fastest time was 10.5. I did the same thing Terry did. I did a 9.5 run with 2 mistakes. And it's like, that was just my golden day. You know, that was my best I'd ever done. But it's to go from 10.5 to 9.5 to 9.14. That is a big leap. You know,
you've actually got to take it back further. You've got to remember my 9.14 is 8.14.
Right. Yeah.
Because add on the 2 half points, that gives you the 9.14. If only it's probably impossible. I was going to say, if you could ever do a clear round, which is probably impossible, right? You know that. Probably impossible.
Yeah.
But I just do. I think I left the mark on the middle window and one on the last. The first one was clear, completely clear. I mean, I don't know that because I'm like 2 seconds and I'm going. You know, they're on it and watching. And it was televised as well, which is on my website, and it's on YouTube as well. Of course, the world record is on there. But, you know, wow, what was I on that day?
18 cups of coffee.
I'm not sure.
You were fat. I've seen that video. Actually, I watched that video before I went over because I was like, okay, what is Terry doing? I knew you were the world record, but I'd never seen you. So I looked you up and I watched that video. I'm like, wow, there were parts of your technique that I hadn't considered in my own technique. And it was like, so I imitated you, and it's like, that doesn't feel comfortable because my muscle memory wasn't there. So I practiced it my way, but it was like seeing you do it, it's like that was a special moment. That was an incredible run.
Yeah, I mean, you know, now obviously all the years, it's almost I'm starting here and I'm doing, you know, this is happening, but at such speed, you know, one's going there, but then this is over there. You know, they're just getting out of the way of each other, you know. But we're talking like 2 seconds and a bit, you know, you got no time to play, have you, really?
No.
And if, as you know, if you take it slower, you're going to be at the world record for sure, right?
Oh,
you can't.
You have to go full speed and perfect. Almost perfect.
Which is hard.
Yeah. Definitely hard.
I'm having trouble beating myself.
Well, that's a tough one. I mean, I've seen a lot of guys compete over the years and to finish the whole round in 8.14. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. And there were some quick guys, but 8.14, no. Yeah. And even then, there was like 400 mistakes. So it's like,
yeah. So Terry, we have Jeremiah into the flow group. We have another guy, Jeff Likes, who won it in 2021 or 2020, right? I think he won.
He won it in Savannah 2020.
2020. And he's pretty fast too. Now he's pulled himself out, and he says he built a 3-window setup at his house, and he says he will not return until he's fast enough to beat your record, or at least to compete for the record. So he says once he gets down and he feels like, hey, I've actually got a chance, he's going to compete again. But he wanted to let other people compete and win, and we actually, the winner of not last year but the year before was also in the group too, Joel Lamb. He wasn't as fast. That was probably the slowest. That's when I took second. That's was one of the slowest. But that was also because there was a lot of people who made a ton of errors. There was a ton of errors that year. So, well,
the states and the one in England is we judge harsher in the States. We'll disqualify people like crazy. The year I ran it, we tried not to do that because I think it's a lot more fun if you just let guys have fun. Yeah. Let everybody just have fun. I'm actually going to pitch to the IWCA that we have like a world record, like how Terry puts himself off to the side, but we just have people that have already won in different competitions only compete for the world record. And I want to get Terry over here to just compete for the world record again. You know, you don't have to win the IWC or the IWCA title, win the world record. You know, I think that would be fun, but I have to pitch it to him as a side project.
I think that's a good idea. And Jeff is working, you know, he's on the board now of the IWCA. So he's going to be helping to run the speed competition for next year's convention. I think that's in the discussion as well, as to kind of back off a little bit of the being so strict with the rules, because it does take away the speed part. Because I know when I won because I didn't go as fast as I did the year before. I went slower, still fast, of course, but slower to avoid the mistakes, because everybody was getting like 6-7 mistakes on their runs. And so I was just trying to minimize my mistakes, and that's how I got second. So
it's so tough because, as you said earlier, the guys go up there in the competition, and I'm sure you've seen it. Just they're at the top of the window, so you hear the judge go 3, and all of a sudden the hands start going right 2. Oh God!
mine were. Yeah, for sure.
That plays a big part. I mean, gosh, once again, going back to my experiences, as much as you know now. I mean, I play guitar, so I used to play in bands and stuff like that. So I've played the stages, I've done live television. And sometimes you put cameras, in front of behind people and everywhere, that just scares them up a bit, if they're not used to that, then it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I've probably been more nervous with just 2 people in the room. I don't know what that is. I've got no idea.
Very cool. Very cool.
But when Jeremiah came over, we did have a laugh, because they got us doing a lot of things together, like holding the squeegees up, being like the Bond guys, James Bond,
Okay,
Yeah.
so Terry is stone cold. They're like, hey, act like you guys are, James Bond, whatever. And he gets up there and he's got all serious face and just got like a gun in his hand. And I'm standing there and I can't not smile the whole time. I'm like, I got a squeegee in my hand. No, I'm James Bond. I promise. I'm James Bond. They're like, Jeremiah, no smiling. This is serious. It's like, this is not serious.
What started him off was, I think I turned to Jeremiah, and he's trying to do a serious face. I said to him, I love you.
face to face.
No, I've not met this man for so many hours. I'm telling you, I love him.
Yeah, I could not hold it together after that. And they got I mean, it was a big deal. They had a lot of cameras there. It was a lot of fun, but man, I couldn't keep it together. It was too much.
Yeah, and it was a big deal. Do you know what? That was most we've had for a very long time, for sure. It was this year round. We had a big TV show here. The BBC One show that I was on with Usain Bolt was there. And what I don't understand is they filmed it all, and they knew my daughter was going for the women's world record as well. And this heightened the interest a lot, because this would do what I said, father and daughter take both records. Wow, that's not going to happen again. It's just a one-off. So they filmed it all, and the very next day, the crew actually come to my home. We done some filming at my home, because they were going to make that look like that was pre-show, And it's not been on TV. I'm baffled. They've like kind of held it back. They've either held it back or they've damn bimmed it on the floor. I don't know what's gone on. But why would they go to filming the show and then do that? That's beyond me. So I don't get that. But the one that Jeremiah was in, a few years back now, that had a lot of coverage on that. A lot of coverage.
Yeah, we just didn't. Americans don't know what the morning show, so I was like, no. I have to describe it as like the Today Show. For over here,
there's something I never got to see. I don't know whether it's still on in America, and I don't know if you know it, but many years ago when I was in America in Las Vegas, many years ago, I had what was called the Extra Magazine show. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that a big show?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Extra.
I don't.
Yeah.
Is it still on? I haven't. I don't have
I
cable.
mean, I don't watch it, but I still see clips and stuff on it, like on social media.
Oh, wow. Back then, not only Sky News following me from here, but they come to the venue, the X Magazine, and we did some filming. I never got to see the end result of it, but we did, like, they come to see me because I was like over here, over to you guys, and someone said to me, "Do you know who that is?" I went, "No." He went, "That's Extra Magazine," because obviously they recognised the presenter lady, you know. So I didn't know. I was rubbing shoulders with. I had no idea, but yeah. So that was that couldn't be because what they found was funny was me. They had me. I had my boots on, these really nice boots on, Italian boots, right? So what they did was they got me walking along the street like in Vegas, like they're big roads compared to what we have, right? We got big roads. So what they did, they had me walking along the street there in Vegas, and they clipped it and timed it to the music of Night Fever, Night Fever. And taking shots of my boots. How hilarious. But I never got to see that bit of film. But yeah, they did it all. But that was years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the other part I wanted to talk with you about. I just think it's fascinating how you were able to turn. I mean, obviously, this is a phenomenal skill you have, and it's it's a world. You have a world record, so you're performing at a level that no one else can perform at this time. But how did you convert that into the celebrity that you have? Because, like you said, people know about you or have heard about you that are not even window cleaners, and you're on shows, and so was there a secret sauce or a process that you followed? Was this something that just fell into your lap, or did you work on building the brand that people would want to interview you, want to have you on shows, and want to see you do your thing for the wider public rather than just the industry people who might be interested in that?
Yeah, do you know what, Gabe? That's a great question because I'm going to tell you a little something because this. So I've always played in bands, as I've said to you, I've played in bands, and I always really want to make it in bands. I missed a huge opportunity, massive opportunity, when I was 18 years of age. I kind of write songs now and then. So there was a certain person that I really, really like. He's dead now, sadly. And he was 22 at the time, a certain David Cassidy.
Oh, nice.
And I was 18. And my wife is with me still now, as she was with me on the very day I was in this pub. I didn't know I'd been set up. So I wrote a song called Just a Friend. And my voice was not dissimilar to David Cassidy's voice.
Okay.
He's not got a strong voice, really. He's just got that kind of voice.
Right.
And it's very similar. So I wrote a song called Just a Friend, and I performed the song Just a Friend. So I comes off, and this guy from EMI Records comes up to me, gives me his card and goes, "That your song?" I went, "Yeah." He went, "I want you to record it with me, and we're going to send it to the States, and we're going to get David Cassidy to sing it."
Wow.
And I went, "No, it's my song." Yeah, I regret that for the rest of my days.
Wow.
Yeah.
You could have been on a cover.
Moving forward to your question, that's a great because I think I've kind of made it my own thing, because if you follow the pattern, so I went on something like a game show, which was You Bet, which was the first thing. Then on the TV every day, which was a regional thing, but it was on every day. Then Record Breakers, which was a national thing, also went on to going abroad and things like that. And then I started getting covered by, I think it was a lot to do with, because I was like bringing window cleaning to television. And I think that's what it was, because I'm getting big national people covering me, Sky News, the majors were covering me, doing what. And then I went with a company, Vileader. You've heard of Vileader? The actual German company, they make mops. They're called Vileader. Well, we did a road show with Vileader, and we had television coverage all up and down the country. ITV, all our stations were covering it. It was like, come and take me on, I'm in Birmingham, and come and take me on, I'm in Manchester, and take me on, I'm in Scotland, and things like that. It was nuts. It was like I had a road show. Well, I did. I had a road show. It was crazy. And it's gone on from there. And I've had a lot of good luck being asked onto a major TV programs. But, meeting Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt came straight up to me, shook my hand. What a nice guy he was. He is a nice guy. He's a down-to-earth guy. It was his management just wouldn't let me do things with him. But I think I kind of made my own niche in that. And I think that's just the way it's gone. Like, if you have a famous cricketer or a famous someone, but because of the window cleaning thing, I don't know if it relates to as much as saying, well, everybody knows a window cleaner, but, there's one person out there that, and that's what the great big story wanted to do with me.
Yeah.
That conveyed that kind of story. The reason why you're that is because you've done this. You're this.
Yeah, but see, it's one thing to have that though, but it's another thing to actually get the people to want to come to you. And I think that's what's amazing about your story. Just as an aside, when I was doing research for your interview, I came across this article, and this just shows about your level of how you are in the pop culture. Okay, so it's a story. It's called it's Off the Beat. It's an article, and it's about this guy who was he got arrested, and he had a squeegee or something. And so they were trying to pull the squeegee away, and he was like in a fight. He's like, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. So it's this whole story, right? It's basically just covering this crime and this guy who is overreacting, and he's telling people he's going to kill him because they're trying to take away his squeegee. And then in the middle of the article, like, has nothing to do with this, it says, parenthetically, the world's fastest window cleaner is Terry Turbo Burrows, who set a record in October 2009 in the United Kingdom using an 11.75-inch squeegee to clean 3 45-inch by 45-inch windows, 9.14 seconds according to Guinness Book of World Records. And then it goes on with the article. And it's like, what? Why is that in this article?
I did not know this article. You shocked me, really.
Yeah, it just threw you in there in the middle of this guy who was being violent and had to get arrested because of how he acted. But anyways, I just thought that was interesting because that shows the level of awareness that people have, and the interest, I think, that people have in that. So I just love your story, because I just think you were able to, you were right man in the right spot with the right talent and the right personality to handle the spotlight that came in. And I just think
I wish I could tell you, and I can't. So I can tell you this much, though. So in February, I've had to do a series of auditions, which you have to do auditions to get on a very big show. And this big show is global big show. If I get it, it'll probably be the best thing that's ever happened to TV land. And the last thing, I got to see them. I had to go and see them. and it was in February. And the last thing they said to me, we have to have this one-to-one chat. It's very in-depth. And so they said, you're not going to know whether you're in this till the end of May.
Wow.
I've been sitting here, and waiting. This is the best thing. If I get it, it's the best thing that's ever happened to me personally. And
Wow.
and all I can say is it's going to take me from here and chuck me there. It's a big program, and it's a global program, and it's not got talent. I will tell you that.
Well, we are rooting for you for sure. But before we go, I just wanted to share this. Look at there. Look at Jeremiah. I don't know.
I still got a grin. You can see the grin in my eyes.
It's a slight grin right there with my cursor. But overall, Jeremiah, I think you look pretty tough there, man. I wouldn't want to meet you. I wouldn't want to meet you in a dark alley. Now Terry's got it though. Look at that.
Terry's stone cold.
Stone cold right there. He's got it.
Yeah, I might have said to him, "I love you" at one point there. I set him off. I did set him off laughing, and he was like, "Oh no," poor man.
That was great, though. That was great.
Yeah. Well, Terry, thank you so much for taking the time, and just also so people don't know, you just had a minor accident, but it still hurt real bad, and we're glad that you're okay. We're glad that it wasn't any worse than what it already was.
I tell you, going back to what I said to you, I can't tell you what it is. That was where I was panicking, because
sure, of course,
I have to go. If I get it, I've got to go for a medical. And right now, this second, I would not pass a medical, trust me. So that's why I'm panicking. So thank God the anti-inflammatories have kicked in and they're doing their magic.
Good.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Wow, thank you. Like I said, we're rooting for you. We hope that project pans out, and of course, we're glad that you're healthy. But anything else you want to promote other than the secret project that we can't know about until the end of May?
Not really. You can chuck up my website.
Please. What's your website again?
Yeah, you can do that. What else? No, just bung it over to me, and I'll chuck it on I'll chuck it on my website, or get my man to do it for me.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, I'll do that.
And thank you, Jeremiah. Any last parting words here before we take off, Jeremiah?
I'm just super happy to see Terry again. I wanted to go this last year, but we had a difficult winter, let's put it that way. So we had to get spring started real fast over here in the States. But we want to make it out there again and see you.
Yeah, it was great to see you, mate. Honestly, it was. And it was a pleasure. I'm glad you won it. Seriously, even though the hiccup, it didn't matter. You still won it. I wouldn't want it to go to anybody else but him anyway.
Yeah, and we cannot wait until we get the news that your daughter breaks the female speed record. That would be so awesome. If that happens. That
would be special. I'm starting to wonder, because that didn't quite happen, whether the BBC didn't put it out, because, they know I've been trying to break my record for years. Mm-hmm. And let's be honest, there's about that much chance that that's going to happen, even by me. It's a bit like saying to Usain Bolt, can you go and run that 100 meters again and in 9.30? What? I don't think that'll ever get beat, if I'm honest. He's world record. I don't think it will. But gosh, we all know as window cleaners, thank God, where this really sits at, because we do know where it sits at. It's damn hard.
All right, Terry. Well, thanks again, man, for making the time. You really made my day, and we know the Flowmies are going to really appreciate all your thoughts. So you take care.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, Gabe, and thank you, Jeremiah. Nice to see you, buddy. I hope to see you all soon. Great. Really.
Go ahead, Jeremiah.
I was just saying, have a good one, Terry. It's great to see you.
Yeah, and you, buddy. Nice to see you.
And thank you, Flowmies, for listening. We hope you guys have a great weekend. You guys take care. Hope you enjoyed the interview. And as always, flow on.
Thank you. Flow on. Why not?